Morning, everyone. It's 8:46 on Tuesday, the 6th, and video number 1567, your pre-opening comment. Okay, the only economic number that came out was the trade deficit. It was 78.16 billion, negative, of course. And that's versus an 80 billion expectation. However, while that expectation gives us a better look, the actual real number last month was 74.1. So it is up. It's less than expected, like most of the news, and it has absolutely no effect on the market. Before the news came out, the Dow was down 12, now down 22. Nasdaq was up 16, now up 12, and the S&P was down a whopping 60 cents, and it's now basically unchanged. Okay, earnings. We had Signet, SIG, that's your mall-based um, jewelry, K, Jeweler, NASR, um, and they're generally freestanding buildings, Jared. They beat, and the stock is 62 up 417, 7.2%. And that was in the face of the fact that they guided lower for Q4, which I would think is probably one of their better, more important quarters. But at the same time, they also gave solid guidance for 2023. So, little soft here. Expect us to do better later. Um, so we'll see how that goes. VVNT, Viant, being bought out by NRG at $12 a share in cash. Stock is 1168. That's up 287 or 30%. And frankly, that's what I would consider these days to be a normal size deal. You know, it's not a biotech. They didn't get a 200% premium. So that's pretty decent. The problem for NRG is the fact that it's trading 36.52, and that's down $4.32. I don't think that that's it may or may not hold. It's back into support, but that is a pretty ugly move for something that they consider good news. AutoZone, this one I'm putting in just because people know the name, because this is a $2,500 stock that is down $7. They beat on earnings. Their store to store comps up 5.6%, and yet the stock is down 692 or 0.3%. But as I said, on a $2,500 stock, that's some guy talking to his broker and saying sell 200 at the market before the market opens, and that's what we have. MRTX. This is another biotech, and they are basically in the business of uh, oncology, cancer. They are reporting. This is kind of a weird one. They are reporting results, and the press release makes it sound really great, on a new combination of drugs that they're testing together. So it looks like good news, but I'm guessing it isn't, seeing as the stock is down 18%, or it's 16 and three quarters, down to 76. And one more, the CEO of um, RTX, Raytheon, was on CNBC. He's a very impressive guy. I liked everything he had to say except one item. I'll get to that in a second. I sound like a TV show. We'll be back in a moment. Um, One of the problems for all of these companies is the Jobs Act. Thanks, Obama. And that is that amortization or R&D spending, which used to be uh, immediately deductible on the P&L for these companies, is now amortized over 5 years. So, in a market that clearly is important, defense, um, what that means to RTX is it costs them 10 billion in taxes, 2 billion in actual cash to operate. Nobody really thought in 2016 or 17 that um, this was actually going to take place. It was in the future. This is the democratic way. Yeah, we're going to save you $78 trillion. Unfortunately, it's going to take 130 years. And so this was postponed till now, but it is in effect now. And that is what the expense is for Raytheon. But remember, that goes across all markets, across all companies that are in any kind of business that requires R&D. The other thing that bothered me a touch was they were discussing the next generation of weapons, and the CEO was talking about it, and his comment was that while we are making great strides in hypersonics, those are air breathing, incredibly fast weapons, and eventually planes, fighters, of course. But even, this is be the replacement for the Concorde down the road. Um, his comment was that China is way ahead of us in hypersonics. So when you hear the politicians say, we have the best defense industry in the world. It's the same thing in reverse of what the Chinese are hearing propaganda wise. It's not true. And this clearly shows that. Okay, that's about it. Dow is now down 51. NASDAQ is down 95 cents. And the S&P is down $3.34. I take that back. The Nasdaq is actually up $6, not down. All right, everyone. I'll be back later. Be careful out there. It's a tough one.